off for the Kingsmen. An extra hitter, number 1, Caden McNeil.
Good afternoon and welcome to Durham, North Carolina. It's Kingsmen baseball back on the air. Varsity non-conference action between the Kingsmen and the Pro 5 Fighters. Caden McNeil set to lead things off here. Top 1 between the Kingsmen and Pro 5. On the mound, Tyson Cameron, right-hander for the Fighters. And he starts his windup to begin the game. High and tight, ball number 1. Caden McNeil is the extra hitter today. We'll walk you through the whole lineup at the conclusion of this at-bat, but it's McNeil, Daniel, and Hart to get things going for the KBA. 1-0. And that is ball 2 inside to Caden McNeil. 2-0 is the count. Hitters count. Swinging away McNeil. He skies one. First base side and foul. Chasing after is Ennis. He runs out of room and it is 2-1. Kingsmen trying to start things off strong. We have a doubleheader today between the Kingsmen and Pro 5. The Kingsmen will actually see 2 different teams over the course of today's doubleheader. 2-1. There's a fly ball right field side. Closer to the line, but still foul. And it actually hit off of the light pole down the line and bounced back into the field of play. It's 2-2 to McNeil with the shortstop Logan Daniel on deck. Tyson Cameron out of North Carolina. 2028 grad right-hand pitcher. He fell behind, but now we're even 2-2 between Cameron and McNeil. The pitch. High for ball 3, and the count is full. Here at historic Durham Athletic Park, former home of the Durham Bulls. Beautiful venue for today's doubleheader. 3-2 to the opening batter. And McNeil rips it into right center. Chasing after it is Kobayashi. And it's into the gap and off the wall on a hop. McNeil scrambles into second. He's got a leadoff double as the Kingsmen start strong here in the first inning. It's McNeil with the double. The rest of the batting order for the Kingsmen today, they're batting 10.
Shortstop, number 2, Logan Daniel.
Caden McNeil, then Logan Daniel, Montgomery Hart following. Then Christian Burney, Dino Catani, and Ashton Bowes hitting 4, 5, 6. Wynant, Catron, De La Cruz, Thomas to round out the 10 order. The extra hitter is on second, and here is the shortstop. First pitch from Cameron, to Daniel is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Infield behind Tyson Cameron is Navarro, Tyler, Shuck, and Ennis. And it's Grayson Durant doing the catching for Pro 5, wearing the all-whites with the red numerals. 1-0 is the count. Nobody out here, top 1. And it's low and away for ball 2. Logan has his family here in attendance. One of the Raleigh area players. Not too far of a drive for the Daniel family. Outfield for Pro 5 today, Marlene, Evans, and Kobayashi. Evans and Kobayashi got their sprints in early with the McNeil double. 2-0 to Daniel. And he takes ball 3. On deck for the Kingsmen is Montgomery Hart, the first baseman who will only be available for part of this doubleheader. But he is in the 3-hole for the Kingsmen here. Inside move, no throw down to second. The final day of games for the Kingsmen before their Easter break. Today being Monday, Thursday, as Holy Week continues. (3-0). And a strike on the outside half of the zone to get things started for Tyson Cameron.
Go through right here.
Now a spin pick to check on Caden McNeil. Daniel in his first at-bat since Monday. He's ahead 3-1 here. The pitch, a fastball, and taken for a strike. So Cameron trying to come all the way back against Logan Daniel. Is behind 3-0 early on in this count, and now it is full for the second hitter in a row. Big secondary at second for McNeil. That ball chopped into right. Kobayashi to a slide, does not get there. It's by him as Evans scrambles to collect it. McNeil getting the wave around third, and he will score the game's opening run. Back-to-back doubles for the Kingsmen. Daniel scrolls into second, and it's 1-0. It'll be scored a double with the dive from the right fielder, Kobayashi. And Kingsmen often running offensively. Took a little while for the Kingsmen to get the bats going in their last varsity game against the Grace Academy Lions. They did not score in that game until the bottom of the fourth. Ended up winning on a walk-off. This was the man at the plate when the game concluded. First pitch to Gummy, outside. If you recall, it was that weird fastball that ran in on Montgomery Hart with the winning run at third. It hit off the knob of the bat and trickled into fair territory where the winning run came in to score. Looking for a more conventional RBI here, 1-0. And he takes ball two. Third straight hitter out of the gates here for Tyson Cameron that he's fallen behind 2-0. This next pitch will be his 15th. Backdoor slider gets him started, 2-1. Christian Burney is on deck, the designated hitter batting for the game's starting pitcher for the Kingsmen, Nehemiah Barnes. Nemo will pitch once the Kingsmen are retired here in the first. 2-1. And Gummy takes low and away. Back-to-back doubles have gotten the Kingsmen the first run of this ball game. Playing against Pro5's Futures program team. The Fighters against the Kingsmen here in Durham. 3-1. That ball cranked a mile high right side of the infield foul. Tracking after it is the catcher. That one ended up over the netting and out of play. 3-2. Tyson Cameron having to work again to one of these Kingsmen hitters. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And the first baseman from Warren, Ohio, digs in for the full count offering. Payoff from the right-hander. And it's laced into left center field. Going way back on it is Evans, chasing it into the gap, and it one hops off the warning track and into the wall. Daniel will cruise around to score. Make that 3 doubles in a row. And that one, there was no doubt about it. Montgomery Hart crushing it into the opposite field, and it's 2-0. We're going to step aside for a moment here in the top of the first. A mound visit for Pro5 and Christian Burney to the plate when we come back. Varsity baseball continues after this on the Kingsmen Baseball Network.
the Kingsmen. The designated hitter, number 25, Christian Burney.
Christian Burney digs in as the game resumes here. Top one in Durham. Historic Durham Athletic Park. Former home of the Durham Bulls. The brand new stadium, well, not brand new, but the newer stadium is down the road, closer to downtown. 1 ball, no strikes. 1-0, runner on second and nobody out for Christian Burney. And there is a swing and a miss, 1-1. Even count here to Christian Burney after the swing and a miss. Tyson Cameron, the pitch. Slider in at the knees to make it 1-2. Cameron, after the mound visit, has seemed to have settled in here. 21 pitches into his start, looking for his first out. There's a high fly ball on the left. Playable for Marlin, and he makes the catch for out number 1. That one looked good coming off of the barrel, but I think it ran a little toward the handle of the bat, and it's a fly out for Christian Burney here in the top of the first. So Dino Catani, the next hitter, the right fielder for the Kingsmen.
The right fielder, number 11, Landon Catino.
Dino Catani at the plate. And he goes after the first pitch, hits it a mile high into shallow center. All the way in toward the infield is Evans, and it's back-to-back flyouts to get 2 away here in the top of the first. So the outfield are getting their work in here early. 3 doubles in a row, and then a fly out to left and a fly out to center.
Now batting the third base, number 32, Ashton Bowes.
Ashton Bowes is going to try to keep the inning rolling. 2 runs early. Montgomery Hart has been at second now ever since his double with no outs. Now there are 2 away. Cameron set out of the stretch rather. Dots the outside corner, and it is 0-1. In the bottom of the first, we'll see Will Evans, Cannon Cooper, and Jake Shuck. The first to the plate for Pro 5 against Nehemiah Barnes. (0-1) and a foul ball. Ashton Bowes, playing for the prospect team earlier in the week, had a double to the left center field gap as a part of a pretty good hitting performance in that one for the team all around. And he lashes out at one, popping it foul first base side. If the Kingsmen get one more hitter to the plate, it'll be their 7th, and it'll be Brody Winan, who's the center fielder. The normal Kingsman varsity center fielder, Kaden McNeil, the extra hitter today, getting a game off from being in the field after playing in all 3 prospect games over the course of the last couple of days at Gardner-Webb. 0-2. And that gets Bowes at the top of the zone looking. First strikeout for Tyson Cameron. We go to the bottom of the first 2 early runs for the KBA here in Durham on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Bottom one here in Durham, 2-0. The Kingsmen lead against Pro5. The Fighters up for the bottom of the first inning against Nehemiah Barnes. Will Evans, the center fielder, leading things off for the home team. Barnes has a sign out of the windup. First pitch. Outside corner strike. Oh, 1. And there is a swing and a miss to get it to 0-2. Kenny Cooper on deck. Barnes ahead of Evans. 0-2. And just missed. Looking for the 3-pitch punch out. 1 ball and 2 strikes. In the infield for the Kingsmen, Bowes, Daniel, Thomas, and Hart. That's Ashton at third, Montgomery at first, with Daniel and Thomas in the middle infield. 1-2. In the dirt, blocked by Jack Catron, the catcher here in game number 1 of the doubleheader. And then the outfield for the KBA, De La Cruz, Wynant, and Catani. See if the outfield gets tested as much here in the bottom of the first as they did at the plate. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 1 for the Bowling Green native. And here's Cannon Cooper.
Now batting the extra hitter, number 7, Cannon Cooper.
Full order for Pro 5. Evans, then Cooper, then Jake Schuck, Jeremy Navarro, Grayson Durant, Zach Ennis in the 6, Jack Piscini in the 7 as the DH. First pitch here coming for Barnes. And Cooper takes high, ball 1. Final 3 in the order, Cannon Tyler, Anthony Marlin, and Ryuto Kobayashi in the 10 hole. There's a strike to even things up. Cannon Cooper at the plate, 1-1 from the right-handed pitcher. And that ball lifted into shallow right. Thomas a couple steps into the grass and makes the catch for out number 2. All grass, natural grass and dirt surface here at Durham Athletic Park.
Now batting the second baseman, number 54, Jake Schuck.
The main shooting location for the film Bull Durham. Nehemiah Barnes, those first pitch outside to Jake Schuck. Pretty cool for the Kingsmen to have the opportunity to play at a historic ballpark like this. 1-0. And again, outside, Jeremy Navarro on deck if Pro 5 gets through the minimum. Barnes looking to get over the plate here, behind 2-0. Out of the windup, fires home. Outside corner, framed nicely by Catron. It's 2-1. Top 2, we'll see Wynant, Catron, and De La Cruz. 7, 8, 9 due up for the Kingsmen wearing the gold uniforms today in Durham. 2-1. And a fastball again outside. Barnes has missed on a similar spot for the 3 balls he's thrown to Jake Schuck. There's a foul ball to make it 3-2. Schuck out of Wake Forest, North Carolina. Throws right, backs left. He's trying to get this inning started for Pro 5. Payoff from Nemo. Got him! High fastball up of the letters. And he gets the swing and a miss and the first frame. 2-0 it remains as we head to the second here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Top two here in Durham. It's Winant, Catron, and De La Cruz. 7-8-9. It's the center fielder to start things off for the Kingsmen, who had a productive first inning. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Griffin Leonard here on the call for you. Kingsmen and Pro5 and Winant. Check swing foul, 0-1 as Catron retrieves. If you just joined us, the Kingsmen started the top of the first with 3 doubles in a row. McNeil put one in right center. Daniel put one in right just in front of Kobayashi. And then Hart laced one into left center field. 2 of those 3 came in to score, and that's where we see the score line right now. 2-0 top 2. Winant with an even count. Trying to start things off again productively. He fouls one off into the netting. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Big fan of netting over chain link fence. 1-2 pitch. That's inside and it hits Winant to put the leadoff man on here in the second inning. Tyson Cameron back on the mound for his second inning of work.
Number 14, the catcher, Jack Catron.
He's facing Jack Catron here with a man on first and nobody out. Catron squaring very early. And he gets the bunt down first base side, hit hard, but no one covering the first base bag. And everybody is safe. The pitcher, Tyson Cameron, came off of the mound, but then when the first baseman, Zach Ennis, fielded the baseball, he realized Cameron had stopped about a foot from him, so everybody is safe. Oh, likely be scored as a safe sacrifice bunt.
The left fielder, number 15, Matthew De La Cruz.
Or rather, just as a single. Matt De La Cruz up with runners on second and first, nobody out, and now he squares. Pulls back, first pitch, a strike. So the Kingsmen threatening here in the second. A little bit of a gift to the hit by pitch, and then the sacrifice. Catron finding his way aboard anyway. De La Cruz, the left fielder today, wearing the number 15, squares again behind 0-1. And they spin and throw to second. That ball caught by the shortstop, Tyler, up by the head of Brody Winant. That's Cannon Tyler at shortstop. Cannon Cooper batted last inning. I don't think I've ever seen a team that has 2 players named Cannon before. That is a new one for me. I'll try not to mix them up. 0-1. And that is high. De La Cruz pulls back again. 1 ball and 1 strike. Eli Thomas, the second baseman, hitting next. The Kingsmen try to get some bottom of the order production to increase their lead. Varsity team coming into today on a 3-game win streak after beating Grace Academy on Monday. That ball bunted but foul, 1-2. Before the Grace Academy win, it was the Kingsmen varsity team in Houston picking up 2 big wins over the Bennett School in Houston, Texas. Their prospect team, Kingsmen, able to find a way to snag a couple of W's. KBA as a whole won 2 of the 4 games in Houston. 1-2, nobody out. Cameron checks on second. A couple of head swivels, throws home. That's high for ball 2. Catron's bunt single, the 4th hit of the game for the Kingsmen already. Two. Inside, and it hit De La Cruz. Second hit by pitch of the inning, and the bases are loaded.
3-4. Let's bring it in. 3-4. Let's go, Eli.
Now batting the second base, number 34, Eli Thomas.
Let's go, 3-4.
Bases loaded, nobody out for Eli Thomas. Thomas, the right-hand hitter, hitting against the right-handed throwing Tyson Cameron. Could work out of the windup if he wants to, but it looks like he'll go out of the stretch. First pitch high of the letters for ball one. Eli Thomas, the youngest player on this Kingsmen team by class, 2030 grad. Stepping in here for a big at-bat with nobody out. And he laces one into center. Coming in on it is Evans, and he makes the catch and hangs up enough for the catch as Winan comes in. The sacrifice fly for Eli makes it 3-0. Good piece of bat on ball from Eli to get the RBI. Catron and De La Cruz stick around on their previous bases, so it's second and first with one out for the top of the order.
The extra hitter, number 1, Kaden McNeil.
Kaden McNeil batting for the second time, starting us off with a strong opposite field double. Put it in the right center field gap. Kobayashi slightly slanted over toward that right center gap now against Kaden. First pitch. Outside, they throw a back pick down to first, trying to catch De La Cruz napping, but he's back in safely. One 1-0, Kaden McNeil up for the second time, and he's for the second time ahead 2-0. It was 2-0 to McNeil, then 2-2. McNeil worked a full count before getting the extra base hit. He's got another hitter's count. We'll see if he's swinging away like he was the first time. They spin and throw to second, and it's close, but Catron is back without too much worry. Cameron up over 40 pitches already. No action in the bullpen for Pro 5. They're letting their 2028 right-hander work. McNeil started to go around, pulled it back, and the pitch was in at the knees to make it 2-1. After reaching second on his double, he scored on Logan Daniels' double immediately following. Two-1. Cameron pitches to the plate. That ball ripped right side. Kobayashi after it. Cannot get there. Just past the glove and to the wall it goes. Winan coming around to score from second. And it is an RBI single for Kaden McNeil. Not often that you see Kaden McNeil put one to the wall and only end up on first base. De La Cruz, the runner in front, had to make sure that that ball was not caught. It looked like Kobayashi had a chance at it, but just could not get the arm extended far enough to make the play. So a run comes in the second of the inning to make it 4-0. Catron scores. De La Cruz on second now with McNeil on first. Lots of speed on the bases. Logan goes after the first pitch, hits it shallow center. Evans to a dive, makes the catch. Will Evans denies Daniel his second hit of the game, and there are two away here in the second inning. Stellar grab by Will Evans in center field. Montgomery Hart to the plate for the second time. Outside for ball one. So a couple more barrels for the top of the order for the Kingsmen so far the second time through, but stifled a little bit compared to the first time. A single and a line out for the first two hitters instead of a couple of two-baggers. 2-0 count for Gummy. Montgomery Hart, from the sounds of it, has a flight tonight. Flying home for Easter to be with his family. So he will likely have to exit the second game of the doubleheader midway through in order to catch that flight. 2-0. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes. If the inning continues, Christian Burney will hit for the second time. De La Cruz and McNeil will take their secondaries as Cameron throws a 3-0. And taking all the way, Hart watches that one hit the middle of the zone, 3-1. Bottom 2 will see Jeremy Navarro, Grayson Durant, and Zach Ennis against Nemo Barnes, who got out of the first with 2 strikeouts and only faced 3 hitters. 3-1. Hart takes inside, ball 4. First walk of the game for Tyson Cameron. He had hit 2 batters already in this inning, but the first traditional free pass, Christian Burney will have the bases loaded and 2 outs here in the second. The DH trying to do a job here.
Christian Burney.
Kingsman up 4-0. Burney with a chance to break it wide open. Loves to attack aggressively early. He's not going to do so here. That ball hits the helmet. Christian Burney down in the batter's box. The coaches will attend. So Christian Burney is up. Have not seen whether or not they're going to get somebody in to run. And Burney now walking toward the dugout. He does appear to be okay, walking off under his own power. They make the batting helmets for a reason. We have a meeting here on the mound, and I believe a new pitcher set to come in for Pro 5. We'll step aside and get back with you here in a couple of minutes. Kingsman with another big inning here in the second. It'll continue after this. Back here, top two, excuse me, here in Durham, North Carolina, west of Raleigh, here at historic Durham Athletic Park. Dino Catani, the next to hit, new pitcher on the mound for Pro 5.
Number 11, the right fielder, Lennon Catani.
Joseph Howard is on the mound in relief of Tyson Cameron. There is a pinch runner in for Christian Burney after he was hit in the helmet with that pitch. Harris Clark on first. First pitch to Dino. Outside for a ball. One 0. And a swing and a miss to make it 1-1. Bases are loaded, 2 out for Dino. Flew out to center his last time. 1-1 pitch. And he rounds it to the first baseman, fielded cleanly by Ennis, who takes it to the bag, and the inning is over. The Kingsmen grab 3 in the second. They lead 5-0 here in Durham on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Bottom 2 here in Durham. Nemo Barnes is back on the mound to face Jeremy Navarro. He throws the ball just high of the zone. No defensive changes for the Kingsmen. Christian Burney out of the game for now. We'll see if he re-enters. There's a strike on the outside corner to even things up. But Burney, the DH, no need for a change in the field. So Navarro, the third baseman for Pro 5, trying to start things off here in the second for the Fighters. Inside ball 2. Barnes got through the first 3 hitters without a base runner. 2 strikeouts and a pop out to shallow right. It's Navarro, Durant, and Ennis to try to get the ball rolling. 2-1, nobody out of the windup. Nehemiah throws home, and the ball is hit foul third base side. Three balls and 2 strikes. Barnes looking for his 4th in a row to start this ball game. 3-2. And gets the handle foul ball. Keep the at-bat alive. That ball bounced off the hole next to the netting and rolled right to the home plate umpire. Another full count pitch here coming for Jeremy Navarro, looking to be Pro 5's first base runner against Nemo. 3-2. Ball 4 outside. There's the walk.
Now batting the catcher, number 36, Grayson Durham.
Runner on first, nobody out. Grayson Durant, the catcher for Pro 5. First pitch he sees is a fastball on the outside corner to make it 0-1. Ballpark surroundings pretty interesting here in Durham. There's some foliage to the left side, some restaurants out in center. That's outside. Catron throws down to first, back safely goes Navarro. And you can see it on the broadcast. Right center field looks like maybe some condos, some apartments. You can only describe it as a checkerboard out there. And it looks even more so looking down at the phone. One ball, one strike. Out of the stretch for the first time. Barnes throws to first. Back safely goes Navarro. That ball popped up. Foul. 2 strikes. A reminder of the infield for the Kingsmen. Bose, Daniel, Thomas, and Hart. Catron catching Barnes, De La Cruz, Wynant, Catani in the outfield grass. Nemo looking to get back on track here. He has Grayson Durant 1-2. And Durant sits on it, drives it to right center. Wynant and Catani converge. It's Dino Catani with the catch for out number 1. Decent opposite field 2-strike hitting from Durant, but he's under it just enough to allow the Kingsmen outfielders to cover the ground. 5-0 the score here in Durham. The Kingsmen looking for an opening statement win against Pro 5 here in today's doubleheader. This against the Futures team, closer to the varsity level, if you want to call it that, for the Kingsmen as far as they're concerned ABA-wise. Their second game slated to play against the Pro 5 Prospect team, similarly to how the Kingsmen in Houston had varsity against Prospect and Prospect against Premier. Another throw over to first. Hart with the tag. Safe is Navarro. Pro 5, just like Bennett in Houston, members of the resurrected NAA. First season with that league with the new look after the majority, at least a decent chunk of those teams founding the ABA alongside the Kingsmen here in 2026. It's a ball high. The Bennett School will be out here in the Raleigh area to play Pro 5 later on in May. The Kingsmen will not see them over the course of that trip, though. Busy with the ABA championships around that time. One ball, no strikes, 1 out. Right on left matchup. And it's digging in as the pitch flies home and misses just high. 2-0. Here comes Coach Joe Hudak to talk to Nemo Barnes. We'll step aside for one moment here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back here, bottom 2 5-0. Nemo Barnes being tested here in the second inning. Throws ball 3 to Zach Ennis. Jack Piscini, the DH hitting for Joseph Howard, is set to take his first at-bat right after Ennis is done. They try to mount a comeback against the Kingsmen here. Bottom 2, 3-0. And Nemo walks him on 4 pitches. 2 walks in the inning for Nehemiah Barnes. And now, just after the mound visit, we see Jack Catron jog out to have a chat with his pitcher. Maybe just clarification, any changes in signs with there being a runner on second base. There is 1 out here in the second inning. An important hitter now at the plate, the 7-hole Piscini, with runners on second and first. Kingsman infield will be looking to turn a pair. Barnes still working out of the stretch. His first pitch is high and away, ball 1. There's one thing looking at the stat sheet in Nemo's start against the Bennett School. A lot of first pitch balls against those Rebel hitters. He, in the first inning of this one, came out strong, firing on all cylinders in the zone. Now sees the 1-0 rip to left. De La Cruz up with it. Drops the ball for a moment. The stop sign was on for Jeremy Navarro, so he does not score, and it's bases loaded with 1 out for Pro5. First hit of the ball game for the Fighters.
The shortstop, 53, Tyler.
Cannon Tyler, the shortstop. Infield going to stay back here with the bases loaded and nobody out. They'd be willing to sacrifice a run to make sure that they can take a step to avoid a big inning.
Let's go, Sid. Let's go, Sid. Got this, Sid.
Barnes out of the windup now with the bases loaded. Starts him with a strike. 0-1 to Cannon Tyler, the second Cannon in the order. The shortstop batting 8th. Behind Piscini, who's on first. Ennis is on second. Navarro is on third. 3 of the 4 hitters have reached base so far in the second inning. 0-1. Ground ball shortstop side. A chance for 2. Daniel goes to Thomas and throws it into right field. Catani chasing as 1 run comes in to score. Here comes a second. And the wave being put on hold. But now the ball getting by Catron. Disaster in the infield for the Kingsmen. 3-run score, and the bases are cleared by Cannon Tyler, who stands on second. Looked like a chance to turn a double play. The throw from Daniel went into right, and Catani had to scramble over there. His throw to the plate was off of Jack Catron. And 3 runs come in to score to make it 5-3. The Kingsmen had played a very clean game defensively prior to that point, but a comedy of errors in the second makes it a 2-run game, and the tying run is up in Anthony Marlin. First pitch, and a swing and a miss. So Barnes with the important job now of trying to slow things down and calm the storm. Got himself a ground ball, but nothing from it. Oh, 1 and a ball. One ball and 1 strike, 1 away. And a pop-up, foul and over the overhang behind home plate. The seats here at historic Durham Athletic Park shaded. And a decent crowd on hand. Families from both teams in attendance to see the Kingsmen battle the Fighters. Pro5 trying to fight back. They've answered the Kingsmen's 3 with 3 of their own, looking for more. 2 strikes here to Marlin. And he swings and misses at the ball just off the outside corner. Fastball for Nemo Barnes is his third strikeout, all swinging. And there are 2 outs for Ruito Kobayashi.
The right fielder, number 51, Ruito Kobayashi.
First pitch to Kobayashi is outside for a ball. From Nagoya, Japan.
Let's go, Vic.
One ball, no strikes, 2 outs, 5-3 ball game, and Barnes behind 2-0. To the 10-hole hitter, Will Evans is on deck to hit next for his second time after Ruito is done. We'll just see if that's in the second or the third inning. Kingsmen set to bring up 6, 7, and 8. Two-0 for Barnes. Popped up third base side. Bose tracking it. Looks up into the sun. Toward the dugout. Makes the catch. Ashton Bose getting things done in the infield. And we head to the third 3 spot for either team. So they cancel each other out. It's still a 2-run game here in Durham. 5-3. We'll come back. Varsity Baseball on the Kingsmen Baseball Network.
Third baseman, number 32, Ashton Bose.
Ashton Bose leading off the third here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. I'm Griffin Leonard. Thanks for hanging with us here on Thursday afternoon action from historical Durham Athletic Park. Ashton Bose takes ball 1 to start off the frame. One-0 pitch in there for a strike thrown by Joseph Howard. Howard came in midway through the bottom, or rather the top of the second inning. Tyson Cameron faced 14 batters removed in favor of the right-hander Joseph Howard. Howard out of Rollsville, North Carolina. 2-1 pitch. Low and away, 3 balls and 1 strike. Ashton Bose struck out looking to end the first inning, looking to get on here to start the third, and he does with a leadoff walk. So the Kingsmen trying to get something started. It has been a high offensive scoring game so far between these two teams. Already already seen 8 runs in the first 2 innings between the two teams. 6 of those 8 coming in the second. Brody Winan was hit by a pitch to start the second inning. He bats for the second time. He takes a breaking ball low, 1-0. Bo's on for the first time today. After walking himself aboard, he stands on first, and a quick conference between the catcher Grayson Durham and his right-hand pitcher. Winan came in to score in the second inning on the Eli Thomas sacrifice fly. Trying to get on with a hit here. 1-0 in the dirt. A hitter's count. Two 2-0, runner on first, and it's low and away for ball 3. Three balls and no strikes, nobody out. Back-to-back walks to start this third inning. Joseph Howard came in after Christian Burney was hit by a pitch. He got a ground out for Dino Catani. Bose was just the second hitter he'd seen. He's now walked the second and third hitters that he saw. Mountain visit here between the Pro5 coaching staff and Joseph Howard. Gives us a chance to talk about the ballpark we're playing at here today, Durham Athletic Park. The first of 2, the new one that the Durham Bulls play at is the Durham Bulls Athletic Park, so don't get the two mixed up. The Bulls played here from 1926 through 1994. The ballpark has been around for a while, originally known as El Toro Park. And it's been Durham Athletic Park for quite some time now. Mentioned it earlier, the primary filming location for Bull Durham, the 1988 film with Kevin Costner, which I was telling one of our players sitting next to me scoring, you know, I'll admit, I've never actually seen it. I'm going to watch it on the bus ride home. I apologize for showing up to the ballpark so completely uneducated. But the Durham Bulls were here until the 90s, moved to the new ballpark that sits in downtown Durham starting in 95. They've been there since. We drove by it on the way here. Beautiful facility with the brick exterior. Now back underway here, Jack Catron had a single his first time. He takes a strike. Tried to bunt with the man on first, and he managed to get to first base safely himself, so what would normally have been a sacrifice situation works out pretty well, and he came around to score on the Katie McNeil RBI single. Next pitch to Catron is flared foul, 1-1. Or 0-2, excuse me. 0-2 here with nobody out. Catron trying to find a way on for the second time. De La Cruz is on deck. The Kingsmen up 2 runs with a couple more on base here in the third. 0-2 pitch. Catron frozen by that curveball, but it was low. One ball and 2 strikes after a beauty of a breaking ball. Catron trying to take advantage of the count here and win the battle. The pitch. Fastball. Tapped foul first base side. Joseph Howard is finding the strike zone a little bit more here after a couple of walks to start the inning. He walked Winan on 4 pitches. He has now thrown 3 strikes out of the 4 pitches to Jack Catron. 1-2. That ran inside. Catron got out of the way. We'll see what the result of the rest of this plate appearance is. He may have just cost himself a chance at first base. That ball was going to hit him if he didn't back out. 2 balls and 2 strikes after the ball inside. Catron sits and taps at the first base side into right for Kobayashi, and he makes the catch. Runners not tagging, and there is 1 out here in the 3rd.
Let's go, 1-5. Bring it in, 1-5.
First pitch inside, and it hits De La Cruz. Second time De La Cruz has taken a pitch off of the body here today, and the bases are loaded.
The second baseman, pretty cool. Thomas.
What you doing?
First pitch in there to Eli Thomas. That is sacrifice fly, his first at bat.
Let's go, bring ball. Now you know where it is. Bring him in, let him close. Let him close.
0-1, 1 out. Inside to Eli Thomas. I want to give a quick shout out to the Bows and the Classes, as well as the rest of you joining us here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Thanks for joining us here. Thursday afternoon ball. 2 games on tap for you today here in Durham. 1-1. Ground ball 3rd base side toward the Kingsmen dugout and bounces into the hill, the grass hill to the 3rd base side in foul territory. 1-2.
Straighten it out. Straighten it out, bring ball.
The whole team not with us today. It's just the Varsity and the floaters that travel with both teams, which is probably good here at Durham Athletic Park. These dugouts on the smaller side. 1-2. And a strikeout for Eli Thomas, out number 2 here in the 3rd. Swinging strikeout to get Eli, top of the order for the 3rd time for Caden McNeil. Interestingly so, the Kingsmen and Pro5 both hitting 10. The Kingsmen to the top of the order for the 3rd time right here with Caden. See, grounds 1 second base side, pitcher coming over, and he flips to first to end the inning. So the Kingsmen unable to score here in the 3rd. As they get to the top of the order for the 3rd time, Pro5 at the top of the order to start this 3rd. It'll be the 2nd time around for the Fighters when we come back on the Kingsmen Baseball Network.
This is number 12, Will.
Bottom three here in Durham. Close game between the Kingsmen and Pro5. Nemo Barnes trying to make this third as quick as the first was. He's got the same three hitters to try to do it. Will Evans, Cannon Cooper, and Jake Schuck. The first three that went down in order to start the bottom of the first. It's 1-0 to Evans, who taps one into the netting, and that ball bounces up and out of the ballpark, rolling off the stanchion. 1-1 is the count. Evans, the center fielder, he made a couple of nice plays, including a diving grab in center defensively for Pro5. Trying to have a better result at the plate this time around after striking out swinging to start the bottom of the first. In the dirt, 2-1.
It's because she's not good on t-shirts.
2-1. Outside corner gets the call, and it is 2-2. Nemo in the ball game, 3 strikeouts. See how long he has on the mound today? Angel Rari is doing a little bit of plyo ball throwing, those heavy balls that pitchers a lot of times use to warm up. 3-2. Has not started throwing in the actual bullpen. He's tossing with Christian Burney with the heavy baseball down that hill that I mentioned down the third base line. 3-2. Barnes trying to get the opening hitter, and he loses him high and away with a walk. Second inning in a row that Nemo Barnes has walked the first hitter.
Now batting the right fielder, number 7, Cannon Cooper.
So Cannon Cooper popped out to second his first time. He has a man on first, nobody out. Takes an outside half strike, 0-1. That ball lasered into left. De La Cruz camped, taking a couple shuffles to his left, and makes the catch to get Cooper for out number 1. Nemo Barnes making start number 5 today.
The second baseman, number 54, Jake Schuck.
Looking for his first win on the mound for the Kingsmen. Go over to first, up to 23 strikeouts on the year now, after the 3 that he registered already here today. One out, man on first, and a swing, and a line drive down the right field line, foul, just missing extra bases for Jake Schuck. It's a long strike with 1 away. Last time on the mound for Nemo, through 2 2/3 against the Bennett School. 6 strikeouts in that one. 4 hits, 4 earned runs. With the Kingsmen winning that game. And now another fly ball. This time over to De La Cruz again. Calling off Daniel. And De La Cruz has back-to-back in left field. 2 outs for Jeremy Navarro.
The third baseman, number 43, Jeremy Navarro.
Navarro walked to begin the second. He scored on that crazy play in the Kingsmen infield that brought in all 3 Pro5 runs to this point. They're trying to keep things a little neater here in the third. Still up 2 runs, nothing too much to worry about right now. Angel Rari has begun to throw in the bullpen. Barnes, after that last hitter, 50 pitches on the nose. And he throws 51 high and away. 1-0 to Navarro. Ended the second inning with 40. He's now thrown 11 pitches here in the third. His fourth hitter. A walk and 2 flyouts to left for Nehemiah Barnes. 1-0. Down the middle, 1-1. In the fourth, we'll see Logan Daniel, Montgomery Hart, and Christian Burney. KBA trying to score again in the fourth after being blanked for the first time in the top of this third inning. 1-1 is the count, runner on first, 2 away. Outside, Catron throws down to first. A feet first slide. Unconventional for Will Evans, but it gets him back the same. Two balls and 1 strike with 2 away. Navarro digging back in left-hand side. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. Coach Hudak from the third base dugout backing up his center and right fielders. It's a short right field fence at just, I believe that says 290 down the right field line. The strike in there, delayed steal in the middle infield, did not see it in time to get over there. So no throw for Catron, a stolen base for Will Evans. It's 290 down the right field line, 335 and left. But a high right field wall to try to make it at least a little harder to hit it out. And that's a full count walk for Jeremy Navarro, the second time he's walked aboard here in as many plate appearances.
Now batting the catcher, number 36,
Grayson Durant, the next hitter, the catcher in the 5-hole. Big gap in left center field as Wyman shaded over considerably to right center. They throw down to second, but back safely goes Will Evans. Trying to get the final out of the inning with that time pick at the second base bag. Time called by the hitter. Once again in the fourth, it'll be Daniel, Hart, and Burney. But we'll see if Christian Burney does hit in the 4th spot. Harris Clark had come in to run. We'll see if Burney comes back in at the plate in the DH spot. Breaking ball, swung on and missed. The ball seemed to float through space and time. Durant unable to come up with it. Right-hand hitting catcher. Raleigh, North Carolina native, 2029 grab in the 5-hole for the home Pro 5 Fighters. 0-1 from Barnes. Runs it inside. Barnes trying to get through 3. He was unable to do so against the Bennett School. 2 2/3 was all he had in the tank against the Houston team. 1 ball and 1 strike. His 15th hitter of the ball game. Kingsmen still up by 2, but the tying run is on base. And Barnes steps off. Pretty good week for the Kingsmen thus far, 3-1. 2 wins for the prospect team and 3 against DSC. They had the Wolves down to their final out looking for the sweep, but were unable to get the job done in that one. A strike at the knees to get Nemo a strike away from getting out of the third. Of course, the Kingsmen won't remember that for too long, the highlight of the week being the Tristan Harless walk-off home run in the middle game of that 3-game set. What a moment that was for the entire team, but for Harless specifically, trying to find some big at-bats. 2 strikes for Barnes against Durant, and he misses outside. KBA's varsity team, of course, their second game of the week, this being only their second of 3, but they are 1-0, trying to keep that winning streak going into this Thursday doubleheader. Two balls and 2 strikes. And they spin and throw to second again. The tag got him. There's the time pick. They get it the second time around, and we head to the fourth inning. 5-3. The Kingsmen hold the lead over Pro 5. Logan Daniels squares to start off the bottom of the fourth here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. I'm Griffin Leonard saying hello from Durham, North Carolina. Durham, the home of Duke University, the home of the Durham Bowls, and the home of historic Durham Athletic Park. Fly ball, foul to the right field side. It's Logan Daniel up for the third time. He's 1 for 2, a double into right field, and a line out to center. Pretty nice play that time by Will Evans to deny Daniel his second base hit in as many tries. So he's looking for it here. It's 1-1 against Joseph Howard. And that slider ran inside on him. Daniel backing the knees up. Opening hitter here of the fourth, a 2-run game in Durham. That ball to the backstop. You can't quite see it on the broadcast here, as the camera's framed specifically to avoid seeing it, but there's a, I guess you could call it an alternate press box of sorts that's down on the field level. Similarly to something like you would see it at Williamsport with the Little League World Series, the box is right behind home plate. That ball ending up over near that. As that one finds the strike zone, 3-2. A couple of the guys asking me why I didn't set up down there instead of up here, and I said, well, now you don't have to hear me all day. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Logan Daniel. Outside, called a ball. And a leadoff walk to start the fourth, just as we saw in the third. Between the two teams, that's actually now the 4th half inning in a row that has started with a leadoff walk. And that walk will be the last thing that Joseph Howard does on the mound in this game. Another pitching change for Pro 5. We'll see the new arm when we get back here. Top 4 in Durham. Varsity Baseball returns after this on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back here in the top of the fourth, a new pitcher on, a lefty, and Logan Daniel forcing the catcher to work on the first pitch. Nice throw down to second, but a stolen base for Logan Daniel. He's in scoring position here in the top of the fourth after stealing the base on Grayson Durant. The new pitcher, the left-hander Simon Schreiber. Schreiber at a nearby Chapel Hill. That's a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Chapel Hill, home of the University of North Carolina. Of course, rivals to Durham's own Duke Blue Devils. 2-0 here to Montgomery Hart. Left-on-left matchup. Schreiber throws home. Misses low. Kingsman's very own Preston Hudak, coaching third right now, the varsity head coach, a former North Carolina Tar Heel for the baseball program. So he's not too far from his old home. 3-0. And finally a strike to Montgomery Hart, 3-1. It's Hart, and then Christian Burney, who is swinging the bat on deck. So it looks like Burney's going to be all right to continue. 3-1. Swing and a miss, and the count is full. Hart so far has reached both times, a double and a walk. The count is full here to the first baseman. And he strikes out. Schreiber coming back with a couple of really good pitches to get one of the Kingsmen's best hitters. And Christian Burney up with one away.
The designated hitter, number 25, Christian Burney.
So Burney, the designated hitter, 0 for 1 today with a fly out, and then he had the scare in the last plate appearance, was hit in the head by a pitch that ran up and in, hit his helmet, down for a minute, but got up okay. And he takes the first pitch low of the zone for ball number 1. Burney was substituted out briefly. Harris Clark ran at first base, but Burney re-enters the game as the DH. Burney rips it to left. I think he's okay, folks. That ball's down in left field. Daniel getting the wave. The throw comes in from Marlin, and it's an RBI single for Florida's own Christian Burney. First run since the second for either team. The Kingsmen find their first run since top of 2, and it is 6-3 courtesy of Burns.
Number 11, Wagon Guitar.
So the Kingsmen lead back up to 3. They were up by as much as 5. Had the 5-0 lead. Pro5 scored 3 in the bottom of the second. Here's Landon Catani. First pitch to Dino. He squares, bunts it back to the pitcher. Schreiber goes to second in time to get Burney. That bunt was just too close to the pitcher's mound. It gave Schreiber well enough time to get the lead runner. So 2 outs here in the 4th.
The third baseman, Ashton Bowes.
There's a strike to Ashton Bowes. Bowes hitting for the 3rd time. Ended the first, led off the 3rd. Now he's up here in the 4th with 2 outs. Took that one low and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. He walked to start the 3rd, was stranded on 3rd base. Kingsman got the bases loaded with just 1 out in the top of the 3rd, but did not score. They have 1 run here in the 4th, and Catani walking back to first with that pick move from Schreiber. Angel Rari had been getting ready in the pen during Nehemiah Barnes' 3rd inning. We'll see if Nemo comes out to start the bottom of the 4th, or if it will be the Dominican. There's a line drive base hit, first base side. Into right, gobbled up by Kobayashi. He throws into the cutoff as Catani goes first to 3rd. Ashton Bowes going opposite field. And that puts runners on the corners with 2 away. Not a bad piece of hitting from the right-hand hitter out of nearby Roxborough. Brody Winan. A hit by pitch and a walk. He has the platoon advantage against the lefty Schreiber. Hitting here with 2 away. First pitch to Brody is low. Catani's on third, Bose is on first. Catani's got a little bit of speed down there at third, commonly used as the courtesy runner for Mason Ritson at the prospect level. See if he gets moving on anything that gets by the catcher. It's outside for ball 2. In the bottom of the 4th, we will see Durant, Ennis, and Piscini. After the 3rd ended with Will Evans getting picked off of second base with Durant at the plate. Now 3-0 to Winan. Catron, the hitter, on deck. And with the count 3-0, he starts to shed the leg pads. Strike on the outside corner, 3-1. Nehemiah Barnes has the glove in his left hand as a ball 4 is thrown to Brody Winan. The 3rd time he has reached on a free pass. Bases are loaded with 2 outs for Catron. So the catcher will hit here. Nemo was briefly out of the dugout to grab the leg pads of the catcher. And like I mentioned, he had the glove in hand, so likely going to at least come out and start the 4th inning. Backdoor slider does not quite get in the house. It's 1-0. And there's a line drive foul to make it 1-1. Ended up toward the Pro 5 dugout. Outside corner strike to make it 1-2. Such a nice aesthetic to this ballpark. The Farm League field here in Durham. 1-2. Catron laces it into center. Back on it is Evans, but he has room and makes the catch looking into the sun. A couple of deep flyouts for the Kingsmen catcher. Just the 1 run here in the 4th. It's 6-3 here in Durham. We'll be right back on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Back here in the bottom of the fourth, Kingsmen baseball on the air here Thursday afternoon from Durham. The team getting up in the morning, taking the drive over to Durham, and settling in for a 2-game doubleheader. That ball low and away. Nemo Barnes back out there for the fourth as Angel Rory continues to toss third base side bullpen. 2-0 to the leadoff man, Grayson Durham. Ground ball, third base side. Bose has it on the forehand. Ashton Bose, low throw, and a beauty of a scoop by Montgomery Hart for out number 1. If I didn't know any better, I'd say he's an everyday first baseman with the form on that scoop. Makes the play for out number 1 here in the bottom 4.
Number 45, Zach Ennis.
Jack Ennis, the next to hit, walked his first time. Outside of ball number 1. The Kingsmen were supposed to leave Luray at about 8 in the morning today to get up here for a 1 o'clock start in Durham. Well, that's low for ball number 2. I woke up this morning ready to go, look at my phone and see a text from Coach, and he says, the bus is delayed, and we are too. We're leaving at 9. And I said, all right, I'm going back to bed. There's a pop-up foul, 2 balls and 1 strike. And I guess the company, we traditionally use the same company for most of the road trips, and I guess for whatever reason, the bus that they had assigned for us for today's short trip had some sort of a mechanical issue, so they were scrambling around trying to get us a different bus to take. 3 balls and 1 strike. So the team ended up leaving Durham about 9:15, rushed breakfast on the way, and then pulled into Durham about 12:30 for a delayed 1:30 start. There's a leadoff walk. 3rd inning in a row. And Nemo Barnes has logged a walk, this time coming with 1 out after he got the leadoff ground ball. Coach Nick Osborne has joined Rory and Bernie down in the pen. Nemo Barnes going to get another batter here against Jack Piscini, but we'll see what the leash looks like for the Bowling Green right-hand slinger. Infield set to turn a pair. Ball 1 high. Today for Nemo on the mound, he has thrown 69 pitches. Just about 50-50 between balls and strikes, and that ball hits Piscini on the helmet. He appears to be okay. That's now both teams that have seen a batter get hit in the helmet by the baseball. Piscini's going to jog down to first. Good to see he's all right.
The extra here, 53.
Kid and Tyler, the 8-hole hitting shortstop, up in a big spot. Hitting again with runners on. He had the bases loaded his first time up, and chaos ensued. Now he has runners on second and first and 1 away. First pitch, and he fouls it off. He got the Kingsmen a ground ball that looked like it could have been an ending double play. Logan Daniel threw the ball into right field, allowing 2 runs to come in to score. And when Catani threw it home to try to get that second runner, it bounced off of Catron and to the backstop, allowing a 3rd run to score. So a ground ball turned into 3 runs. Those are the only 3 runs for Pro 5 so far. Outside corner just missed it, 1-1. Barnes would love to get another ground ball from Ken and Tyler and give his infield a chance for redemption. Tying run at the plate here, bottom 4. Game 1 of today's doubleheader in Durham. There's a line drive past Bose and out to left for De La Cruz, and it's under the glove of DLC. 1 runner comes in to score. De La Cruz whips it in toward Ashton Bose, who is the cutoff man, and strolling into second is Piscini. Mistake in the outfield for De La Cruz turns a single into now runners on second and third. Be an error on De La Cruz after the single to left. So Anthony Marlin, the hitter with runners on second and third, the tying run is on second. Coach Hudak going to come out toward the pitcher's mound in Nemo Barnes before a pitch is thrown. We'll see if a move is made to the Dominican right-hander. And the day is done for Nehemiah Barnes. We will take a break. Be right back here. Bottom four. 2-run game here in Durham. New pitcher on the mound for the Kingsmen, and it's the Dominican right-hander, Angel Rari, out of Higuay in the DR. He's pitching to Tyson Cameron, pinch hitter for Pro5. First pitch. Inside and a hit him. Cameron, who was the starting pitcher in this ballgame for Pro5, walks down to first after getting hit by the pitch, and now the bases are loaded. Not the ideal start for Angel. Finished off game 2, got the win in that ball game for the Kingsmen on the mound. An absolutely electric performance to help seal the deal for the Kingsmen over the Bennett School 12-11. He's now got Ryuto Kobayashi with the bases juiced. He missed outside 1-0. Kobayashi popped up to third in foul territory. Bose made a nice play to wrap up the inning. Interestingly, Caden McNeil and Christian Burney have just walked down the line. They're going to toss the ball back and forth. Outside ball number 2. Caden McNeil has never pitched for the Kingsmen. I would presume that it will likely be a defensive switch more than it would be a pitching change. But then again, if the Kingsmen need a pitcher here, they're saving the rest of their arms for game 2. You never know. Rory out of the windup, 2-0, outside. He has missed on 4 consecutive since coming into the game.
Mind your rhythm.
Two-run game here. Rory needs to find the zone, and he does not. 4-pitch walk. Kobayashi walks, and a run comes in to score to make it 6-5. And we will see another pitching change. Coach Hudak, with it being a 1-run game, has seen enough. Brody Winan is going to come in to pitch. Caden McNeil is going to move to the outfield. We'll be right back on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. So a long switch here. Brody Winan coming into the game straight out of center field. And he has an important job to do for the Kingsmen. It's a 1-run game here in Durham. 6-5, 2 runs in the inning for the Fighters, with the tying run on third and the go-ahead on second. No time to settle in here. First pitch. There's a foul ball off the bat of the leadoff man, Will Evans. 3rd time around the order for the Fighters of Pro5. Coach Joe Hudak pulling Angel Rory after just 5 pitches, all 5 balls. 0-1. Winan thought he got the call there. It's 1-1. Just about to say Brody doing the one thing that Hudak, I'm sure, wanted to see if anything else, which is throwing the ball in the zone. Didn't get the call that time, trying to come back here with the count 1-1. And it is low. Trying to get out of this inning with the lead preserved. They've had the lead since the second batter of the ball game. The lead was as much as 5. It is just 1 right now. 2-1. Evans lets it go with the knees. 2-2.
That's the last thing I want to do is five.
After Will Evans, it's Cannon Cooper. 0 for 2 in the ball game. A couple of flyouts. Evans, a strikeout and a walk. Has yet to put the ball in play. 2-2 to the leadoff man. And it's just off the outside edge. Catron tried to pull it back into the zone, but it is 3-2. And a crucial pitch to get over the plate. 3-2 against Will Evans. And a foul tip into the glove of Jack Catron. Strikeout for out number 2. And I think everybody can take a big deep breath in and an even bigger deep breath out. Cannon Cooper up a 2-away. The job not done yet, but a mighty step of the way there. In the inning for Pro5, 3 walks, 2 hit by pitches. There's a ball. Just 1 hit. Cannon Cooper out of Baltimore, Maryland. Strike there to make it 1-1. This Pro5 team has players from a decent amount of different areas, primarily a North Carolina and Raleigh area roster, but players from a couple of other countries, a couple of other states. There's a ground ball third base side bouncing to the foul side of the third base line, 1-2. There are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. It's a 1-run game. One, 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kingsmen trying to get out of the frame. Winan throws to second. A little bit of a lob there, and back safely standing up goes Tyson Cameron. Two and two. Out of the windup. Winan's pitch. Fastball, third base side. Bose off of his leg. Bose with no throw, and the game is tied. They call it the hot corner for a reason, and Ashton Bose unable to come up with that ground ball, and we are knotted at 6. Winan got the ground ball he was looking for, but now he'll have to face the 3-hole hitting Jake Shuck. As the left-handed hitting power hitter, I'm sure he enjoys this right field here at Durham Athletic Park. First pitch. Shuck takes outside corner, 0-1. Top of the 5th, we will see De La Cruz, Thomas, and McNeil. Caden McNeil, defensive changes. Forgot to mention those with the Winan change. McNeil was the extra hitter. Now he is in center with Winan coming in to pitch.
Hey, yo.
0-1. outside for a ball. In between the 2 outs here in the 4th, 5 runners in a row reach base. There's a line drive right field and through into right. Pro5 has its first lead of the game. Throw comes to the plate and 2 runs score. 2-run single for Jake Schuck. And they have truly come alive here in the bottom of the 4th, a 5 spot now to make it 8-6.
The third baseman, Jeremy Navarro.
Jeremy Navarro hitting here with 2 away, the 10th hitter of the inning. Pro5 batting through here in this 4th. Preston Hudak putting on some signs from the dugout with runners on the corners and 2 away. The Kingsmen trying to get out of this 4th inning that is ballooned into a big spot. Game started at 1:30 local time, coming up on the 2-hour mark of this ball game. Still another one to go. Max Rayleigh, the projected starter for the KBA. That'll be against the Pro5 prospect team. Kingsmen looking for a win against the Futures. No throw down to second. Catron will just toss it back to the pitcher and allow Schuck to take second base. 2 balls and no strikes. Lefty at the plate in Jeremy Navarro. Time has been called. Now just some confusion between catcher, pitcher, and dugout. Everything seems to be ironed out now. 2-0, Wynant back out of the windup. He spiked it by Catron. That ball bounced back into fair territory, and the runners scramble back. 3-0 is the count. We've seen some backstops that allow for some quick bounces, but that was on the extreme side. It bounced all the way back between the lines, and it was actually collected by Brody Wynant himself. Return to sender. Now it's 3-0. And a strike. Kingsmen scored 5 unanswered to begin the game. Since then, it has been 8 of the last 9 have gone to the home team, Pro5, with the 2-run lead. 3-1. Ground ball right back up the middle, past the glove of Wynant and into center. McNeil fields, throws home. Catron comes out to collect, throws to second, and safe. The call at second, 2 more runs coming to score. The hitting continues from the meat of the Pro5 order. Back-to-back singles from the 3 and 4 spots. And it is now 10-6.
The catcher, Grayson Durham.
Still 2 away here, and Grayson Durant, who led off the 4th, bats for the second time. And he grounds it to the third base side, but foul. There's a foul ball to make it 0-2.
Hey, finish it right here. Finish it right here.
The ball's in 2 strikes. Kingsmen trying to finish off this 4th inning, a marathon of a 4th, and it does conclude with the strikeout. Durant starts it and finishes with 2 of the 3 outs. Wynant finally gets out of the inning, but a long one for the KBA defensively. 7 runs in for the home team. The Kingsmen down 4 will look to respond when we come back here in Durham on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. Top 5 here in Durham. The Kingsmen, after being in the field for quite a while, come back to the plate, trying to turn things around here. And it is De La Cruz hitting to lead things off against Simon Schreiber, who finished off the last inning. Deals the first pitch ball to De La Cruz here. DLC has been hit by a pitch both times he's been at the plate. 1-0. And he's ahead 2 balls and no strikes. It's De La Cruz, Thomas, and McNeil. Kingsmen had a run in the top of the 4th that was answered heavily by Pro5. 2-0. De La Cruz the other way, a flare shot, and it's caught by Ennis for out number 1.
Second baseman, number 34, Eli.
1 out. Thomas takes an outside corner strike. No balls and 1 strike, 1 away here. Thomas, a sacrifice fly and a strikeout. He swings and misses to make it 0-2 here.
Do me a favor this.
0-2. And Thomas taking low. The changeup makes it 1-2. Let's see if Wynant starts the bottom of the 5th on the mound for the Kingsmen. Can't imagine they'll want to use any more arms in the first game. Already low on pitching as it is. 2 balls and 2 strikes. One of their varsity pitchers, Tate Johnston, unavailable. Would prefer to keep everybody else ready for game 2. Thomas hits one second base side. Coming across the diamond is Shuck, and he has out number 2, throwing to Ennis to get the second out on as many hitters. So top of the order for the 4th time for the Kingsmen. Looking for 2 out production now after the bottom of the KBA order unable to produce a base run.
Make a home run for HR.
So ball to start things off for Caden McNeil. fourth time to the plate, 2 for 3. He has a double and a single. And he pops one, first base side hooking, out of play, foul. One and one. And that's on the low and in corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bottom 5, we will see Ennis, Pacini, and Tyler. McNeil takes ball 2. Katie McNeil trying to extend the inning here. Logan Daniel is on deck. 2-2. And he strikes out. The fastball blown by the Kingsman number 1 hitter in the order. So the inning is over. We head to inning number, or rather the bottom of inning number 5. Remains 10-6 here on the Kingsman Baseball Network. Back here in the bottom of the 5th inning, Brody Winan back out to start the 5th. Pitching to a new catcher behind the plate, Christian Burney. He has some trouble with the first pitch. The on-deck batter retrieves. Jack Tatron started the game. He is out, at least of the fielding order. We'll see if he still hits since Burney was the DH. But Winan behind 1-0 with nobody out. Out of the windup. And the ball popped foul by Zach Ennis, who has walked twice so far here today. One, a slider that missed outside. The Kingsmen looking for a cleaner first couple of hitters here in the 5th. They had gotten the first out of the 4th inning. There's a swing and a miss to make it 2-2. But the 4th compounded into what ended up being 7 runs for the home Pro 5 Fighters. Kingsman trying to make this 5th quick and easy. After the swing, here's the pitch from Winan. And it's spiked for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes now after that one missed.
fine. They're not running. They're just walking.
It's Ennis, then Pacini, then Cannon Tyler. One at the right-hander, looking for a strikeout. And he does not get the swing on appeal. It's a walk. Ennis walks for the third time in a row.
The designated hitter, 29, Jack Pacific.
Runner on first, nobody out for Jack Pacini. He's reached both times he's been to the plate. First pitch, a fastball. It's skied in the air, first base side. Hart tracking it into foul ground, but he runs out of room. It is 0-1. So the Kingsmen, with a couple more innings to play here against the Pro 5 Fighters Futures team. It'll be the Kingsmen against the Prospect Pro 5 Academy Ball Club. Rayleigh on the mound to face the Pro 5 Fighters in game number 2. 0-1 after the foul ball with nobody out. In the dirt, it got by Bernie. It is spiked by Winan and 90 feet for Zach Ennis to get rid of the double play possibility. A wild pitch there to put a runner in scoring position. One and one. Winan looking to reestablish himself in the zone, out of the stretch. That ball hit a mile high behind home plate. Christian Bernie looking up into the sun makes the catch. Back spinning into that glove, and it's an important first out here in the bottom of the fifth. They get Pacini and now Cannon Tyler.
The extra hitter, 53, Tyler.
Tyler had the ground ball that brought in those 3 runs in the second when the ball was thrown away in the Kingsman infield. He also has a single. And he came around to score on the error by Ashton Bowes. Just a couple mistakes from the Kingsman infield that have made significant impacts in the scoreline of this ball game. 0-1. The bats have looked pretty good today for the Kingsmen. They started the game off with 3 doubles. Since then, they have 3 base hits, actually 4 base hits, 7 total in the ball game for 6 runs. 0-1 with the runner on second, and it's hit into center. McNeil coming in on it, and he makes the catch for out number 2. Lobbing it back into the infield, back-to-back outs for Winan and the Kingsmen. So Tyson Cameron batted in this spot last time. It's now Marlene who started the game in the 9th spot. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout, hitting for Tyson Cameron. First pitch from Brody, and that's by Bernie, and it bounces all the way back into fair territory. We see that happen again, and another free 90 feet from Zach Ennis, who has not advanced on a ball put into play, simply walked and then has taken second and now third on pitches by the catcher. The 1-0 is in at the knees.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
One is low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Marlene at the plate, then Kobayashi. Another runner on third, but no runs in for Pro 5 so far in the 5th. 2-1 for Winant, working out of the windup. Runs it inside. Marlin had turned away from it. It's 3-1. In the top of the 6th, with 2 innings left to go, it'll be Daniel, Hart, and Bernie. We'll see if we play the full 7 in both of these games. I do remember the P27 Varsity Road Series where they had a time limit on the first game in order to make sure we got both games of the doubleheader in before too late. 3-1. And it is low, 4-4. So far in this ball game, we have played for 2 hours and 47 minutes, or rather 2 hours and 17 minutes. With a 1:30 delayed start. 1 o'clock was the original scheduled start. Talked earlier about travel delay. Ruito Kobayashi hits for the 3rd time. Bottom of the order for Pro 5. Runners on the corners and 2 out. Back in the stretch with the runner on first. Winding a long time to get ready for this first pitch, and now he throws it home. Low and away corner. Beautiful location on that one from the Minnesota native.
Hey, roll 2 here.
Outside for ball 1. One and 1 is the count here. Winant slide step and gets the swing and a miss from Kobayashi. Ryuto Kobayashi, one of 2 players on this Pro 5 Baseball Academy team that is out from outside of the United States. They have a Czechia native, Daniel Sabatka, 2027 right-hander. We have not seen him. That ball inside, and it bounces away. Bernie collects and does not get a toss-off to home for Brody Winant, who is trying to get home and cover the plate. A run scores on the wild pitch here in the 5th. Zach Ennis walked to lead off the 5th and circled the bases on 3 wild pitches. So the score now 11-6. 2-2 is the count. Kobayashi trying to get another one in here with 2 away. Winant fires to the plate. And this is low and in, and the count is full. Not the first time this season that Winant has had to come in out of the field with no time in the bullpen. Came in for Angel Rari after just 5 pitches that the Dominican right-hander had thrown. 3 balls and 2 strikes, trying to avoid seeing the top of the order here in the 5th. And that ball by the catcher, no swing on appeal. The Kingsmen walking off the field, but they said no swing, and it will be a walk. The Kingsmen acting as if they had the drop 3rd strike, threw down to first and then started to walk off the field, but the appeal said no swing by the base umpire. So Kobayashi walks for the 2nd time, and now runners are on the corners.
The center fielder, Will Evans.
Top of the order for Will Evans. 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts and a walk. The first hitter that Winant saw And he blows a fastball by him to get ahead 0-1. Wynant came in the fourth to face Evans in the top of the order, relieving Rari, who had come in to relieve Nemo Barnes, who threw 3 1/3 today. There's a swing and a miss to get it to 0-2. No throw down to second. Defensive indifference, I think, at this point for the Kingsmen. They're focused on the hitter at the plate. It's 0-2 with 2 outs. Second and third for Pro5 out of Raleigh, playing here today at Durham Athletic Park. 0-2 from Wynant. Outside corner, the third time they've struck out Will Evans in the ball game. We head to the 6th inning. One more for the home side. It's a 5-run game here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. We head to the 6th here, 11-6, and leading things off for the Kingsmen is Logan Daniel. He is 1 for 2 today with a double and a line out. Walked his last time and came in to score the last Kingsman run on the Christian Burney RBI single. There's a ground ball from Daniel to the shortstop. Cooper has it, goes to first in time for out number 1, and that's how the 6th inning begins. It's Daniel, Hart, and Burney. Gummy Hart now to hit with 1 out. Getting close to 4 o'clock local time here in Durham. Set to play one more after this. Max Raley, the projected starter for the Kingsmen. Interested to see what kind of group we get from Pro5. After seeing the Futures team here in game number 1. Slightly different roster with some of the same turnover, similarly to the Kingsmen prospect in Varsity. A ball outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Kingsmen scored the opening 5 runs of the ball game. They started the game with 3 doubles in a row. Since then, 11 of the last 12 have come from the Fighters. It's again outside, missed to Montgomery Hart. He's ahead 2-0. The Kingsmen, though the game has skewed away from them, are only down by 5 runs. We've seen big innings from this team in the recent past. 2 balls and a strike as that one finds the zone. One away here after the inning opening ground out. Hart takes outside corner, 2-2. He had the last of the 3 doubles in a row to start the game. Uncorked one to left center field. 2-2 pitch. And he took it at the same spot and is called out on strikes for the second at bat in a row. 2 outs here in the 6th.
Get it back, 2-5. Get it back, 2-5.
Now batting, 45, Christian Burney.
Christian Burney batting with 2 away, and he takes a big cut at the first pitch he sees from Simon Schreiber. Schreiber has been very good out of the pen for the Fighters. He's ahead 0-1 here to the Kingsmen DH. That ran inside and hit Christian Burney. Second time Burney's been hit. I think he likes the spot that one came in a little bit more than the first time he got clipped. So he's on first with 2 away for Dino Catani. Dino is 0 for 3. He did reach on a fielder's choices last time. He takes an outside corner strike. Generous call to go ahead 0-1. That slider running away from the hitter, Catani. Grounded on the 0-1 and foul. No, called fair. The home plate umpire was very late on that call, and he pointed fair to end the inning. At least from the angle up here, it seemed pretty cut and dry, and now Coach Joe Hudak has just been thrown out of the ballgame. That's going to wrap up the inning unless the change is made, but the base umpire certainly in no position to make that call from his position. Coach Hudak going to get his money's worth, his first time ejected here in this spring season. The call was made by the home plate umpire on a ground ball down the line that was fielded by the first baseman Ennis. And then when Coach Hudak came out to talk to the home plate umpire, the base umpire said something to him, and Coach Hudak thrown out shortly after. We're going to take a break here. Bottom 6 coming up after this. 11-6 the score here in Durham. Bottom 6 here in Durham, North Carolina. An ejection at the end of the last half inning. Coach Joe Hudak, assistant coach on this varsity team, has been thrown out. And Wyman, starting off the bottom of the 6th, throws a ball high to Cannon Cooper. If you're just joining us, the last half inning ending with a ground ball that was close to that fair foul line in front of the first base bag. Ball number 2 is a delayed fair call by the home plate umpire that left the coaching staff irate. And Coach Hudak taking it upon himself to get his point across. So he is out of the game. He is sitting about a foot from the field of play right now. 3 balls and no strikes. I think the umpires are just leaving them alone.
Oh, we're so bad.
Wynan pitching to Cooper here. Nobody out. And that is a 4-pitch walk to start the inning.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Coach Preston Hudak going to have a chat with his pitcher. We'll step aside for a minute here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network. New pitcher onto the mound for the Kingsmen, and it is a KBA debut for Logan Daniel on the mound, pitching against the Pro 5 Fighters, trying to get them 3 more outs. 5-run game. Brody Wynan came in and did a big job in the 4th, but pitching through the 5th and then starting the 6th with a walk, time was called to make the change. So Logan Daniel throws his first pitch in a Kingsman uniform, and it's a ball to Jake Shuck. Daniel started the game at shortstop. It's an outside corner fastball to make it 1-1. Defensive changes for the Kingsmen. Daniel, who was the shortstop, comes to the mound. Montgomery Hart moves from first to short. And then at first base for the Kingsmen now is Harris Clark. That ball ripped down the first base line, and it is fair. Into the corner, chased down by Catani. Around third, coming to the plate is Cannon Cooper as the throw goes to Thomas at second, and it's an RBI double here off of Daniel by Jake Shuck as he finds back-to-back base hits for Pro 5.
The third baseman, 43, Jeremy Navarro.
Logan Daniel with a tough start to the game. He had a 1-1 count, left one a little too much over the plate for one of the better hitters on this Pro 5 order. Here's another one, Jeremy Navarro. His first pitch is inside, caught by Bernie, 1-0. Outfield stays unchanged. Actually, no, it isn't. Is that Wynan out there in right, or is that Catani? Is that Catani? So it is unchanged. Both of them have similar gloves out in the outfield. 2 balls and no strikes. And of course, we're about, 400 feet away from back here in the booth. But Wynan is in the dugout. Wynan and Catron, the only 2 up on the top step for the Kingsmen in the dugout right now. There's a ground ball, second base side. Clark is way over And Daniel coming off the bag. You know, for a kid who's probably never run a PFP at a Kingsman baseball practice, that looked pretty good coming off the mound. He makes the catch on the throw from Clark, and there is one out here in the inning. Clark, a normal third baseman, knows at third base the job is get every ground ball you can. At first base, that rule doesn't necessarily apply. But the pitcher did a good job of coming off the mound. It's 1-0 now to Grayson Durant. 12-6 is the score. 1 run in already for Pro 5 here in the inning. They've scored now 8 unanswered to take the lead and get themselves firmly in front. That ball flared right side. Clark reaching up, makes a nice catch. Jumping up to keep that ball in the infield. And the pop out gets out number 2 of the inning here in the 6th.
First baseman number 45 is out.
It's actually 9 unanswered now with that run in for Pro 5. They have another runner on third, but now 2 outs for Ennis. First pitch from Logan. In there at the bottom of the zone for a strike call. To lead off the 7th, it'll be Ashton Bowes, Brody Winant, and Jack Catron. 0-1. And a swing and a miss. Foul tipped into the glove of Brody. It's 0-2. Logan Daniels not going to become an everyday arm by any means, but the way he's filling up the zone right now could be a nice option for KBA to use to eat up some innings if needed. He gets a pop-up, shallow center, over to it. Thomas and Hart, Gummy makes the catch. How about Logan Daniels? Got to give him some credit. Despite the scoreline, coming in and getting 3 big outs. And it's just 1 run on the board here in the 6th. We head to the 7th. Kingsman with a big rally necessary if they're to come back and win the ball game. We'll see if they can get it done on the Kingsman Baseball Network. Into the 7th we go. 3 outs, all the Kingsmen have left. If they're going to try to come back, they've got to find some runs before those outs come around. It's Ashton Bowes, who's had a good day at the plate. 1 for 2, a single and a walk, in addition to a strikeout. Bowes singled to right his last time against Schreiber. In there, at the bottom of the zone, 1-1. Bowes, Winant, and Catron for the Kingsmen. That's Ashton Bowes up the middle, another base hit. And well, Simon Schreiber has done a very good job against Kingsman hitting, Ashton Bowes has been an exception to that rule. He has seen the ball very well against the lefty, lacing 2 line drive base hits. Base hit to start us off here in the 7th. Brody Winant has reached all 3 times he's been to the plate. If you're going to start a rally, this might be the part of the order that you want to see up. in there on the low and inside corner. Bottom of the order coming up here in the next few hitters, but then if you can get that rally going, those power bats are going to be coming around when those final few runs would need to be scored. It's 0-2 to Brody Winant. Kingsman needs 6 here in the 7th. In the second game of the Bennett series for Varsity, they scored 8 runs in the second to last inning of that ball game. That one gets away, and Ashton Bowes scurries down to second. He advances on the wild pitch. A reminder that today is a doubleheader for KBA Varsity. They'll play the Prospect PRO5 Fighters. That game will begin half an hour after the conclusion of this one. Rayleigh to take the mound for the Kingsmen. There's family in attendance. 1-2. At the top of the zone, a called strike. And Winant is down for out number 1. So Catron to hit with 1 away. Catron has a single and a couple of flyouts in this ball game. Backdoor slider gets the zone for strike number 1. Catron hit a ball hard to center field his last time, but it was hung up enough for Evans to track it down. 0-1 with Bowes on second. Same pitch, same result, 0-2. De La Cruz is on deck to hit next for the KBA. Ground ball third base side. Catron hits it to Navarro, who throws up the line, and Catron is safe. Jack Catron hustles it out. And he is on here after the error. De La Cruz, the left fielder, hitting here with 1 away. And a little bit of a gift from Pro5. See if the Kingsmen can take advantage. De La Cruz has been hit by a pitch twice, and he is lined out to first. Now he grounds one to the shortstop. Tough play going to third, and it hits off Ashton Bowes, and everybody's safe. Bases are loaded for Eli Thomas. Time call. Kingsman going to get a change in the courtesy runner. Jack Catron almost looks a little bit ginger coming off the field. Running gingerly down to the dugout. Looked a little shaken up, running down to first as well. And yeah, his head's down at the dugout. Hopefully he is okay. Courtesy runner, or maybe just a pinch runner since Catron is no longer the catcher. Winant, as the last out, is the runner at second base. 1-0 to Eli Thomas. To strike in at the knees. One and one. Thomas, a cue shot, foul. Caden McNeil in the top of the order awaits. If Thomas can knock a couple of runs in, you get the feeling that this rally could really get started. But you need something out of Eli Thomas here. 1-2 to the 10 hole. And Thomas hits it down the left field line, looking for the corner, and it is a foul ball. Foul ball just down the line. And Eli still standing on first. He's going to have to come back. There's quite a bit of dispute and discernment coming from the stands, but at least from up here it did look pretty clearly foul. It was hit well by Thomas, and we'll see if he can do it again. A good piece off the bat of the second baseman. 1 ball and 2 strikes, the count remains. Schreiber's pitch. And another cue shot foul. Thomas today has a sacrifice fly, in addition to a couple of outs in the field. That line drive looked pretty good 2 pitches ago. See if Schreiber gives him another one. 1 and 2 is the count. And it's a ground ball to the Kingsman dugout, and I think that hit Montgomery Hart. It appears to be okay. Players taking shot after shot here in this ball game. 1 and 2, it is still to Thomas. And he swung at that one that honestly might have hit him. Defensive hack at its finest. Slider that ran way in on Thomas, and he fought it off. And the youngster is swinging away. You love to see it. Schreiber trying to win the battle. Outside ball 2. Caden McNeil is on deck. The Kingsmen are down 6, but have the bases loaded. 2-2. And that ball is popped up into the air. Called by the catcher, and the catch is made for out number 2. Valiant effort at the plate for Thomas, but nothing to show from it in the end.
That number 1,
Caden McNeil up with the bases loaded and 2 out. Backdoor slider. 0-1 to McNeil. And a 2-seamer clips the zone. McNeil did not like that one. 0-2. The Kingsmen down to their final strike here in the 7th. They got the bases loaded, courtesy of a couple of errors. You have yet to take advantage. Schreiber trying to finish the ball game. And that one taken low by Caden McNeil. Logan Daniel on deck, the pitcher in the last inning. He will hit if the game continues. 1-2. Hit into right center field. That one dancing toward the gap, but it is Kobe Yishi who makes the catch to end the ball game. Final score, 12-6. The Kingsmen started strong, but it was Pro5 who came hitting the hardest toward the middle innings. They win over the Kingsmen by a final score 12-6. We'll step aside and wrap things up here. We'll have game 2 of the doubleheader in about half an hour. The Kingsmen Varsity right back at it against the Pro5 Fighters. Thanks for joining us. I'm Griffin Leonard, saying so long from Durham Athletic Park, historic Durham Athletic Park here in Durham, North Carolina. We'll be back with game 2 in a little while, right here on the Kingsmen Baseball Network.